This is a reading from the Notebooks by Marie Valtorta. It is part of Jesus' Holy Hour from June 14th, and it is the second part. One of you will betray me. Matthew chapter 26, verse 21. Mark chapter 14, verse 18. Luke chapter 22, verse 21 and 22. And John chapter 13, verse 21. One of you. Yes, in the proportion of 1 to 12, one of you betrays me. Every betrayal is more painful than a lance thrust. Look at the humanity of your Redeemer. From his head to his feet, he is one big wound. Scourging brings horror to those meditating on it, and agony to those experiencing it. But it was an hour's torture. You that betray me scourge my heart. You have been doing so for centuries. I have loved you. I love you. I take pity on you. I forgive you. I wash you, taking away my blood to make it a purifying bath for you, and you betray me. I am the Word of God. I am glorious in heaven, but I am in this heaven not only as a spirit, I am there as flesh as well. The flesh has feelings and affections. Why do you want to renew for me continually that gnawing fire, which the proximity of a betrayer is? Is heaven far away? No, children who betray me. I am close to you. I am among you, and you burn me with the flame of your betrayal. I look, seeking comfort among the different kinds of people, and in each I encounter so many glances of betrayers. Why do you betray me? I am in your midst to do good to you. Why do you want to harm me? I bring you my gifts. Why do you throw biting vipers back at me? I call you friends. Why do you reply, accursed one? What have I done to you? What man do you know who is more patient and has greater goodness than I? Look, when you are happy, no one abandons you. But if you weep, if wealth abandons you, if you have an infectious disease, everyone then stays away from you. I remain. Indeed, I receive precisely at that moment, because you then come. You no longer have anyone to weep and speak with, and then you remember me. And I do not say to you, go away, I don't know you. I could say so, for in fact you never came, when you were wealthy, healthy, and happy, to say to me, I am this way, and I thank you for it. But I don't demand even this from those who are not already giants in love. I do not demand gratitude. It would suffice for you to say, I am happy. To say this to me, not to regard me as an alien to you, to remember that I exist, too, to devote a thought to this Jesus. I would say thanks for you to God, my Father and yours, but you never come. And I could say, I don't know you. But I then open my arms and say, come, let us weep together. Look, I am in the jails, in the small, depressing cells, sitting on the same plank as the prisoner, and I speak to him of a freedom truer than the one beyond those four walls, of a freedom which is no longer afraid of being harmed by sins which should be punished. And yet that prisoner is someone who has betrayed me, offending my law of love. Perhaps he is killed, perhaps he is robbed, but he now calls me. There I am, at his side. The world scorns him. I love him. I call the one who was killing me and depriving me of life my friend. I can call this unfortunate who comes back to me my friend. A flame of love. I am close to the sick. Their fevers experience my caress, their sweat my sudarium, their languors my arm, which support them, and their anguish my word. And yet many are sick, because they betrayed me in my law. They have served the flesh, and the flesh, a mad beast, was destroyed and destroys them, now, even in life. Here I am as well, for I am the only one who do not grow tired of their malady, and watch with them, and suffer with them, and smile at their hopes. And, if the Father has the slightest inclination, I turn them into reality. But if I see that death is decreed, I then take this brother of mine, who is trembling before the mystery of death, and calling to me, and I say, do not fear. You think it is darkness, it is light. You think it is pain, it is joy. Give me your hand. I know death. I experienced it before you. I know that it is an instant, and that God supernaturally comes to your aid to deaden the force of the sensorial, so as not to demoralize the soul in its final struggle. Be trusting. Look at me alone. There, do you see? You have crossed the threshold. Come with me now to the Father. Do not fear. now either. I am with you. The Father loves those who I love. I am in deserted houses. Before they were glad with voices. Death and indigence have passed by. The survivor wanders about alone. Friends have fled. Loved ones are far away because of work or death. The sun is in the sky, but for the survivor, all is darkness. There is peace in the night air, but for the survivor, there is no rest. And yet I have often been betrayed in that house, where creatures have been turned into gods. Creatures have been loved idolatrously in betrayal of my law. But I enter and come to introduce a sunbeam into the darkness, to infuse peace where a storm is. That survivor has called me, perhaps absent-mindedly, perhaps without a real will to receive me, but I go without delay. Oh, I ask for nothing but to be with you. Every memory falls of past error when you call me, Jesus. But do not scourge my heart. It is already open and bloodless. Do not envenom its wound. And to those who have understood me in my pain, as a betrayed man, I say, one of you will betray me. Give me your faithful love as a balm, and I say this to all, to the saints, my beloved ones as God, to sinners, my beloved ones as Jesus, for sinners too, for whom I became Jesus, can medicate this wound. Are you Samaritans? I know, but my parable speaks of a good Samaritan who treats the wounds not treated by the children of the law, who pass by, absorbed in the hurry of serving God. See Luke chapter 10, verse 29 to 37. They do not know that God is served more by loving than by performing practices. I am the wounded one, languishing on your roads. Marauders assaulted and plundered me. Marauders, those who unworthily make use of my sacrifice as God becoming flesh, they plunder me. By denying my attributes with their multiple heresies, they plunder the truth, because that robe tempts them, for it is radiant, but they do not know that it shines, because it has been put on by the one who is a sun, and in the hands of those who cover it with the slaver of their proud minds, it becomes just another rag. Truth is truth, and it illuminates all things with this light when it is seen in union with God. When divided, it becomes chaotic language, for the truth is knowledge and wisdom, but when torn away from God, it becomes chaos. Medicate me, even if you are Samaritans. Give me your oil and wine. The oil is love, and the wine contrition of your own self. Medicate me. I do not disdain you. Let the sinful woman who refreshed my weary feet speak to you, and say whether I disdain a sinner. Luke chapter 7, verses 36 to 50. But never betray me again. Go and sin no more. I forgive you for everything, if everything in you loves me. Give me a sincere kiss. My cheek is burning from the kiss of the betrayers. Medicate it with the kiss of faithfulness.